So Arizer has been around for at least 13 years.
Yeah.
They're Canadian, and
Hmm.
they seem to be pretty popular in Canada. I know a lot of my Canadian friends were on the Arizer Solo. My best friend in Canada, we were friends before we even knew that we were both stoners. Like we were friends via the barbecue space, the vintage Weber scene. We were friends, and we actually met up and cooked together and stuff when he was in California. And then later on, found out that we were both into cannabis, and we were both into cannabis vapes. So small world, but
Fuck
he
out.
was,
That's crazy.
yeah. And he was an Arizer solo too, or he was an Arizer just a regular solo back then. But yeah, that was his vape,
Well,
and
there was probably.
yeah, and it was similar to the PAX thing. Like when you meet somebody that has a PAX vaporizer, they know about weed vapes, and they equate it to the PAX.
Yeah.
To them, there are no other weed vapes. They're just unfamiliar with that whole market. I
Hmm.
think a lot of these Arizer Solo and the Arizer people were the same. Like they were introduced to the Arizer as, hey, there's this product that is an alternative to smoking. It's called the Arizer. I think there was like some steps skipped, or just the way they were introduced to vaporizing presented a limited viewpoint, and people latched onto the Arizer, and rightfully so, man. The Arizers are kick ass for what they are. The only thing I can ever complain about is how long it takes me to get high with one, because in reality, it's kind of a perfect vape on paper.
Right.
It's got the glass vapor path, and at the time in the history of the vape industry, like when dry herb vapes were kind of just starting to popularize in the 2010s, people were all about the glass. Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. All about the glass. Glass and convection is what we've been banging on the web for years, and we've got glass everywhere, which is great. But no, you're right, man. I mean, they're popular because they're such a great fucking value. I mean, look, man, this is my original solo. This is one of my first five vapes ever, and I don't know if you'll see, but it's got the black ceramic bowl in there. The first few runs were ceramic bowls. Um, yeah, you won't
Wow.
be able to see it. And then this is my original Ed's TNT stem for it. That's back when he was using those fucking pins and nail them in place instead of O-rings to hold the tips on. And man, I hit this for years. But dude, when they came out, this thing was like I want to say like 270 bucks, and the fact that you can get one of these for like a buck 10 or a buck 15, or or even when you get it on sale, even less than that, so it's just the value is crazy. They last forever. I changed the battery in this one myself, so this is the second battery it's on. It just keeps on going and fucking going, man. It's crazy.
That is awesome. My original Arizer Air and my original Arizer Solo are also still going. I don't have them here. I loaned them out because they were just collecting dust on my shelves, and me being trying to be like a vaporizer evangelist, I had friends who wanted to try, and I just like sent them home with the Arizer because it's so dependable. It's so easy for most people who smoke at home, who just like smoke a little bowl here and there, or smoke a one hitter, or smoke a joint, and they want to get rid of the smell. They want to get more out of their weed. This is an extremely easy to relate to interface. You pack your little bowl, you put your bowl in the vape, and then you just suck on the mouthpiece. I want to vape now, actually, Jerry.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's kind of like a portable box vape. You know what I mean? If this is your box and you take the wand, you load your wand and you stick it up in there. And so it's kind of a simple concept, except, the mating's a little different. But man, you're right. The taste is always real good. I mean, what I like about it is when I let somebody hit this, I know that the vapor is going to be represented well. You know what I mean? It's going to taste fucking great. It's going to have good effects. It's really pure, and it's easy to use, like you say. I mean, you can burn yourself if you don't understand that you're pulling hot glass and metal out of this thing. But they're fucking great, man. You and I talk about how I think we even talked about it at one point the other week when we were talking about the show. Is that they're the best vapes that you and I don't use.
Yeah.
And you alluded to it there, as far as, you don't reach for them much because you don't have to vape a whole lot.
What?
These bowls hold, when I pack it optimally, the way I think is the way I like to use it, it's holding at max 0.15 grams. And there was a time when that was good for me, but that was about 10 years ago. And you know, when you vape as regularly and as much as we do, go through two or three of these. And Arizer designed these. The original Air and Solo don't have adjustable timers. They're 8 minute timers, and they literally think 8 minutes is the optimum time for extraction in this environment. And so that's why they have no apologies. It's an 8 minute timer, and well, great. That's 30 minutes if I want to get to where I'm going to be. So it's
Right.
not always convenient that way. But for the normal person, this is a solid contender for just about everybody. I mean, really, for the normal person, this is going to be great.
Yes, and I think what happens is enthusiasts. We're surrounded by vaporizer enthusiasts. Like a lot of the people that are most engaging are people who love vaporizers and want to have 8, 9, 10, 15, 30 of them. You know, they're vape geeks. They love the different experiences. Not not all vaporizer users are are going to fall into that vast tunnel. They're not going to fall down the rabbit hole of collecting vapes or buying 3 or 4 vapes. I do think that there's a great benefit to owning multiple vapes because each one can provide different experiences, and it's just like owning different pipes and different bongs. But I feel like a lot of people just want to have a vaporizer so they can vape weed at home as an alternative to smoking. And I think the Arizer is probably the best vape that can fit that niche for people who only want to have one vape.
I could see that. I mean, I think you were telling me the night you knew somebody who that was their vape, and then they had it forever and it worked forever. And then what was their next vape?
The Solo 2.
It was like, yeah, exactly. It's like,
That was my best friend Matt. He had the Solo. He replaced the battery in it twice. So he had this vape so long that the battery failed. He replaced the battery in it twice. And then when the Solo 2 came out, he went out and bought the Solo 2. And I was like, "Bro, you got to buy a Mighty. Like, please, 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 please buy a
right.
Mighty." You know? And
Yeah,
he goes, He's like, "I love my Solo. It's just so tasty. It just works so pretty." You know, it's just
yeah.
it was it. Like he didn't have vast at all. At all.
No, man.
Like he
All about the plant. I love them.
it was it's a remarkable journey because now now he's vaping on an SSV 43 and a Rio and a G43 and Sticky Bricks and Dynavaps
No
and a
shit.
Mighty, but he still pulls out his Solo too.
That's great, man. That's great.
Speaking of which, mine's ready and
Yeah.
it's at 410.
Well, I'm starting with the original. I'm going to my original first five vapes. I'm gonna start with my solo. So I'm gonna be a couple minutes waiting for it to heat. I forgot about that too, man. The heat up on the old one. Yeah, I'm gonna be here for a minute. That solo two is the quickest of the bunch, by the way. We'll
That's
compare them later.
sexy. Like
Yeah, dude, it's great looking.
we'll go over the individual models a little later, but this thing is a sexy vape. Like it looks and feels great in the hand.
It's a dope vape, man. I know at some point we might talk about different accessories and stems, but this is probably my most used stem. I love this thing. It's a long. It's called. I think it's the uh, HVPVS or something like that. Basically, it's the high airflow, high performance vortex stem from PlanetVape.ca. The guys up in Canada, Planet Vape.
Okay.
Dude, those guys are cool, man. They are always like I mean, for like forever, like for 10 years, it seems like they've put out custom pieces like this, like third party, cool accessories that take it a little higher. They've been doing it forever, and I've had this for a long time. But this is a long stem, so it cools well. It's got a disc here with just one little hole in the middle, so it kind of I don't know. It just I like it. So it's going in there, man.
I remember
Cool.
that. I remember that being a thing. Everyone was talking about that in the FC forums.
Yeah, the high performance. Yeah, there he's PVHES, the Planet Vape High Efficiency Stem, I think is what it is. Thanks, Brown Fox. How's it going in the chat, man? What's up, guys? Oh, this is great.
I think the those wooden Ed's TNT stems were a pretty big part of Ed's TNT's success as well. I could be wrong on that because he's got a lot of awesome things, and I know his dugouts are super popular and his wood sense is amazing. But I know a lot of people who posted those Ed's TNT solo stems, and I'm kind of jealous that I never jumped on that bandwagon now.
Well,
But
shit, man, we got to get you one. Yeah.
it's all good. I got you. Now you're showing two of them. Thanks,
Oh,
Jared.
I've got five of them here. They're gorgeous. I got about 20 stems here. I love these things, man. All kinds of shit. Um, but well, here, let's see if I can have it show well here. No, these stems, the solo stems, have been Ed's bread and butter for a long time. He has been doing this longer than anybody and better than anybody, and they're fucking dope. I can't get it to. I guess is that the focus zone right about there?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
And wow, look at this one, dude. That's beautiful. I'm not even sure what wood that is.
That is nice.
Then he's also got like a shorter one. And then, I don't know if this bullet one is he call it the solo bullet stem? This little thing right here. That's pretty cool. He's got a little short one.
Is it double as a WPA?
Yeah, all of these taper to 14 millimeters. So let me tell you something, man. I've been pimping Ed stems forever. These things are great. First of all, they're more durable than the glass. The bowls are bigger. They mate with 14 millimeter glass, and I ended up I could go a temp higher with these than I could with the glass. So I was able to get more in there at higher temps with a durable stem that would mate with glass. They're fucking dope, and they're beautiful. I mean, they're just beautiful.
They look rad-ass.
This was one that he just was playing around with, and I think but it didn't work out. But I mean, he's always innovating, trying new shit.
Is that when he went to Zimbabwe and poached a rare rhinoceros and used the ivory to make the stem? Is that what that is?
No, this is just like plastic or PV
okay.
something or whatever the hell it is.
I'm just kidding. Ed would never do something. Ed is awesome.
That's funny. I hadn't thought about that, man, the way it looks. This is another one of my favorite solo stems. And I think this one came from Ed, too. I don't know where this came from. But it's a really cool, I'm going to use this later and I'll show you. But I love that one. And there's like WPAs, you can get these kind of things. Glass ones here. Of course, they come with short stems and longer stems. And here's a bent stem. You'd be surprised how much cooling that one little bend will do in a stem. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
No shit.
If
That's
you
a good
use the
point.
straight stems and they're too hot, grab your bent one.
That used to blow my mind. Like when I switched from this, I like the straight stem because it's black, but the bent stem is so much cooler. That little bend, not only does it somehow make the vapor cooler, like it forces more thermal transfer in the same amount of surface area, but I think it also forces more particulate, like more of the organic material to collect on the stem. So you're getting less organic material in your throat and in your lungs, and more of it's stopping in the stem. So it gets dirtier faster, noticeably, than a straight stem.
Yeah, you can see that it's grabbing the bits that are making it through, collecting a little oil. And if you use the thing and you put your finger there, you'll feel the heat that it's absorbing. I mean, that little bend in the glass is causing a whole lot more contact and absorption.
Yep.
And this doesn't have a bend, but it's long enough. But the bend does a lot, man. It's crazy.
The first time I encountered glass nipple technology, ouch, was also in the solo stem.
Oh yeah, do you have one of those? The nippled stem?
They were called 3D cooling stems, I believe, and I don't have one. I had one at one point, I think, and I think I tried to use it somewhere else and I broke it. And yeah.
That sucks. That'd be a nice one to have, man.
And that was early use of glass nipples for cooling, and now they're everywhere and everyone's all touting them. But third parties were adding them. I think it was Puff It Up had added them for the Solo 2 or the Solo 1 years ago.
Good stem, man. I need to get one made or find one. That's a good idea.
This vape is tasty.
They're great. The glass is awesome.
It provides a different tasting experience to your vapor than a lot of other vapes. There's no and I don't like to say that plastic vapes give any like off gassing or any flavor. Like I don't hit the Mighty and feel like I'm tasting the Mighty. But vaping the same weed in the Mighty versus the Solo, I feel like I'm getting a more accurate representation of the terpenes and cannabinoids coming from this all glass vapor path than I am from the the plastic vapor path of the Mighty.
I agree with you. When I do them side by side, the Mighty's cooler. I do feel more heat in the Arizer Vapor, but they're some of the tastiest portables out there, man. They really are. That no shit. The glass fucking does its job, man. And it just, I mean, when you get down to it, the only thing you got going on here is glass and hot air. So there ain't a whole lot to fuck up. You know what I mean? It's like it just tastes good.
Right. So I've been vaping on this. There's no session timer on the Solo 2. I wish there was, but
Yep. I want that and
so
haptic. If they had, those are only two things I'd add. Otherwise, it's perfect.
so if I pull this out now, I'll dump it in my hand so we can see what it looks like. So it's still producing vapor, but there wasn't a lot of material in there to start with, and it's pretty toasted.
Hmm.
It's pretty toasted, but it is still producing vapor. What's cool is there's no need to stir with the arisers, in my opinion. I think if you stir halfway, you might be able to finish your bowl a little quicker, but you're also gonna lose some material. Like once you start fucking with that bowl, that's hot. Don't touch that.
Yeah, be careful of that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna load a fresh one anyway.